All right. Got a little Sunday afternoon fan faction game. Let's tell everyone we're playing. All right. What do we got here? Seat 4. I'm always in seat 4. Prospectors. You've been throwing the Prospectors a lot lately. I guess they are pretty versatile. Alright, so, round 1 Spade. Round 5 Towns. Sandwich TPs. Oh, this could have been great for the time travelers. Too bad we got Prospectors already in. Okay. Who else could be interesting here? Children of the Worm. Maybe with a round 3 Stronghold. Could be interesting. I guess I'm going to be in seat 4, so whatever faction I pick will have access to the spade tile, so that's pretty nice. We're missing temp ship and the big building tile. And the TP scoring tile, so a bit of a low worker situation. Interesting. Well, let's see what other people put in. We can kind of go from there. We do have the Fire and Ice fan factions available. Ooh, we also have extra scoring. I just noticed this. What do we got? This is distance, right? Yeah. Distance scoring. Also lakes. Should keep that in mind. I have not actually played as much fan factions on lakes in general, so this will be a bit of an exploration. Who likes a round 2 dwelling round? And maybe some of the variable factions would. I'd probably prefer not to do those, besides, at least not the fan faction, variable faction ones. Riverwalkers love lakes. This actually is a pretty good Riverwalkers setup. We could potentially do that. Although I've been trying to play fan factions so I can post them on YouTube. So I'll probably try to do that. I guess that doesn't mean I can't throw one in the game. I just don't have to play them. All right, we got Wisps thrown in, which I guess makes sense with the round 1 spade round. Although Wisps usually want to get out so many TPs that I'm not sure they can hit the late round TP rounds so well. Plus no TP scoring tile. So I'm not sure how much I love the Wisps here. Also, Lakes feels kind of awkward for them. I guess maybe it's not so bad. You can do like H4, I3. You probably have to build an expensive TP on I3 off a bridge. Like, that's a lot. Not terrible. I guess you could also go F8 if you can get gray or brown on E6, F6, then you could go kind of swing this way for a town. That would be pretty cool. Oh, someone picked Enlightened. Okay. Enlightened. I just don't love these early cult rewards for the Enlightened and the lack of the big building tile. But they'll be okay here, because they're probably going to get this priest tile. Okay. So, one thought would be if I pick up black faction, it makes four in a line, which isn't so nice. Like if I want a nice color wheel, my options are red or yellow. Or I guess gray would actually not be it. No, gray would sandwich green. So red or yellow is probably the best option here. Anyone have any faction they really want to see? I guess Architects could be pretty good. Fire and Ice is always the answer. Yeah, the problem is, I guess Selkies maybe would be okay. I haven't played Selkies. I haven't really seen Selkies on lakes. I'd try that. I don't think it's a good setup for Shamans. I'm not playing KOE until they fix it. And I don't think it's really a good setup for Firewalkers either. I mean, I do think Riverwalkers would actually be good here. But maybe we can do Selkies. Let's do Selkies. And then the question is, what color do they want? You've got green, blue, brown. So like red, maybe? Or yellow? You want places that can go across. All right, I got 10 seconds to decide. I guess yellow and red. Yellow seems pretty good. Go across here, maybe? Yeah, let's go yellow. Yellow Selkies. Riverwalkers are always good on lakes. That is also true. What's up, Rafa? Architects? Yeah, that was the other one I was considering, but I already got a good Architects example game. I'm trying to get example games for the YouTube channel to go along with the series. So, yeah, all of that said, I think Prospectors are in a great spot here because they're going to get probably the 6 coin tile, which they love, and that's going to be really nice for them. Wow. All these guys just went after their own factions. What's funny is I think Selkies are actually probably second best here. I actually played a game against this guy Petros pretty recently. He beat me as Prospectors. Played a really nice game and bid them down a lot. So I have a feeling. Let's just speed this up a little bit. I'll take him down to like 25, and then I'll just grab Selkies. The one thing with Selkies here is Selkies do probably, if I go Selkies here, I'm probably taking the spade, opening Stronghold, which means I'm angling for the workers action, which is fine. But the thing is, there's no big building tile to complement that Stronghold opening, so that's a little painful. Here, let's make him go to 25, and then I'm going to take the Selkies. And we'll just speed this auction right along. Oh, or not. He can go jump on a different faction. Enlightened is really tricky here because I didn't even sort of think about the fact that in addition to the track not being very good for them, Lakes is just terrible for green in general. Who knows? Maybe I end up on Prospectors here after all. These guys keep going. Wow. This Enlightened bidding is actually pretty surprising to me. I admittedly don't see it. Alright, I said I was going to jump on Selkies, so we're doing it. Does this mean we're getting Fire and Ice faction guides? Maybe eventually. I need to play them all a little bit more. So I feel like I have played enough games with most of the regular factions, and they've been out for long enough that I can sort of give some basic tips and strategy and have it feel confident. I think this is this will be the second game I've played with Selkies, maybe the third. So hopefully, I'd like to get to those guides eventually. I also think they need to fix KOE first. I'm not going to do a guide on KOE when it seems so open as to what actually happens with that. But the other ones I feel like I could probably do once I get a few more plays in. I did play another Snow Shamans game recently, which was my second with them. But yeah, I want to get a few more under the belt. So starting placements, I actually have a couple interesting options here. So I think F4 is pretty interesting in a way that it wouldn't normally be for yellow because of Selkie's ability to go across. The issue is Prospectors plays after me, and so if he goes on G4, that's really annoying. And then I definitely think I want to start on either G6 or D7 because both of these stretches, so G6, I mean, there's actually so many interesting options for Selkies here because you can make a town like G6 and F6 can connect to E5, they can connect up to D7, and then if you get C7, then you can connect over to this stretch over here, which is all also really nice for yellow. So interesting. Like normally D4 is, I guess D4 is nice too, but the issue with D4 is even if I get C3, which first of all, like the Prospectors could double dig C3 out for me right away. And even if I get it, then how am I connecting back to the rest of the map? This map is cool for Selkies though. I hadn't really even thought about this. There's all these nice little like one spot. And without Temp Ship, I definitely want to open Stronghold. No doubt about that. So yeah, I think it's going to be F4. And I'm kind of hoping the Prospectors don't go G4. Actually, I think the answer here is go F4. And then I think it's go G6 trying to lure the Prospectors here to F6. Because if I go D7, they'll probably go to G4. But if I go to G6, they might think, ooh, I can take F6 and go this way. So I think that's going to be the play. Yeah. What do Selkies do? That is a great question. The Selkies, their main thing is that they can build dwellings on river hexes. If the river hexes are bordered by two non-adjacent buildings of their own already. So for example, and this is kind of what I've been talking about, is if I have like F4 and G4, then I can build a dwelling on this river hex right here. And lakes actually, I had never really thought about it before until I'm looking at the setups, but it actually seems like quite a nice setup for this ability. And then their Stronghold gives them a single spade with a temp ship, which enables them to do little jumps across and create the spaces necessary to then build those dwellings. So it's a nice little synergy. And then obviously they're an ice faction. It does feel strong on lakes. I hadn't really ever thought about this. Most of my because of the Madness League, most of my fan faction play recently has been on base, which has been good to like sort of limit the variables to just the fan factions and focus on base. But now coming back to other maps, and I play so rarely on lakes anyways because it's my least favorite map. Oh, he did go G4 anyways. Okay, that's kind of annoying. That'll be okay though. It just means that I probably am going to need F3. Ultimately. If you have G5 and F6, if I have G5 and F6, I can build on the river, yes, but I can't build on the river if I have G6 and F6. I have to have at least two that are not adjacent to each other. But you can have the one, if you have the one in the middle, that's okay. Ooh, the Wisps took cult coins instead of worker power. Yeah, if you have all three, then you could build on this river spot. Yes. But not if you just had these two or these two. Prospectors went with worker power. Season 20 arena settings. What season are we on right now? Like 10? Now, one thing to think about is, do I just go straight for the workers? Because it's pretty bad if I don't get the workers. I think next, I'm probably going to need to plan next round. Okay. So I'll come back to that point in a second. If I build this, the Prospectors... Man, who's taking double dig? Nobody? Will the Wisps get enough for double dig? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they will. So the Wisps are going to get double dig. Wow. Unless the Prospectors take it for 2 priests, which actually doesn't seem terrible for them either. I think I'm going to roll the dice on the workers action. I don't think anyone's going to take it. The Wisps could take it, but I think the chance at this extra leech is worth it. Standard Enlightened openings? Standard Enlightened openings are usually... well, plug, go watch my YouTube video. It's in there. But always Stronghold, like always. And then after that, you can do a number of different things. You can build like a dwelling and a temple. You can build a bunch of dwellings. You can just build a temple. You can send a bunch of priests to cults. Sometimes you can do any of these things in combination. Okay, so now I have the chance at double dig, but I think that's worse than the Stronghold because the Stronghold gives me shipping. And without temp ship in the game, I think it's better, even though I really dislike the idea of the Prospectors getting this double dig for 2 priests, but I think I have to let it happen. F4, F5, River, and G2. Yeah, I guess that's true. I've been thinking about F3, but I could also go this way. That's a good point. And I don't think anyone's going to take this. I'll definitely do G2, probably this round, because one of my spades is, like, I don't get the temp ship unless I'm actively using the Stronghold spade. So this other spade I have to use, like, normal without shipping. So that one's probably G2, or I guess could be F6. But I'm gonna go and take these workers. I think I'm gonna stick to my plan here. Because this plan will also allow me to build more dwellings next round in the dwelling round. Passing up double dig in the spade round like seems a little crazy, but I think in this case it's the right call. Yep, he did it. Prospectors. Now the Enlightened very well may do Priest to Earth here, which would help mitigate at least a little bit. Because he bull rushed this Stronghold. One thing about the Prospectors now is he's either going to be sitting at the end of the round without a TP, or he's not going to build any dwellings, either of which is going to be a little nasty on the economy, although he's going to get a bunch of coins back from the cult, so maybe not so bad. And he took Earth 1. Let's see if the Enlightened send a Priest to Earth here. That's probably what I would do in their position. No, he didn't. What did he do? Oh, he just took his Stronghold action. Wow. Okay. So I could go ahead and build my Stronghold now. I can also use the spade. I guess it doesn't matter that much either way. I guess I should go ahead and build this dwelling in the case that someone takes H5 for a little more leech. I do dislike giving the Enlightened all this power, but I don't think there's anything I can do about it. And then after I build the Stronghold, the other dwelling's going to go on E5. Gotta lock that down. I guess I theoretically should have done that. Should have built the Stronghold right there on the off chance that the Enlightened advance their shipping, but I think that's very unlikely. You have to like advance his shipping and double dig. Ugh, the Prospectors getting that first Priest to Earth is very annoying. One thing about F5, Rafa, is that the Prospectors could actually totally take this, because if the Enlightened take H6, or if the Wisps somehow get across here first, he's going to need another Hex. I mean, maybe he just abandons this, but if he wants to build a town here, he's going to want F5. So there we get an Enlightened priest conversion for first priest to air, which is also nice for them, because the Enlightened, remember, for those of you who haven't watched the video or need a reminder, get double the power back. So he just did 5 power to air, or sorry, 5 power for 2 priests, which is conversion, and then sent this priest to air for 6 power back, which is just sick. All right, and I have to go and give him 3 more power with this Stronghold. It is also a 4 power Stronghold for the Selkies, which is pretty nice. You can also make SA Town on G5 and H6. Yeah, I was just thinking if he doesn't get H6, it is distance scoring, which I should keep in mind. I think I'm in pretty good shape for that, actually, because I'm going to get up to here. So I'm going to go E5, and then in the future I should have pretty uncontested access going this way, and so I'll be on this southwest to northeast diagonal. I may need to like preemptively block H5 from the Prospectors, so I don't want him getting this run down here. But it's probably a while before he has any shipping unless he saves this priest right here and advances his shipping, then because the Prospectors don't produce a priest on their first temple. So no, yeah, distance not. This would be a very different story if this was Edge. I think we would have seen Prospectors up here. It's actually a pretty interesting Enlightened setup. Like if he does dig H5, build a temple, he's actually in a pretty good spot to turn this into a sanctuary town, unless the Prospectors eat H6, which I guess they might do. His problem is, Prospector's problem is he's not going to get any more leech. He needs 2 more leech to get the coins action. Small risk of running out of structures for distance once I've populated the river. Oh, that's a good point. I'll have to keep that in mind. I will probably try to not go too gung-ho on the river hexes, like just basically use what I need for towns until the end of the game. But it is a good thing to keep in mind. Okay. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, he gets power. I always forget that they get power from digging. Oh, see, now I got to be careful. Is he going to try to jump me over to F6 here? I mean, I guess that really wouldn't be the end of the world. I definitely don't mind the neighbor. But yeah, he could send like Priest of Fire here. Wow, the Wisps just went for ship scoring over 7 coins. That is interesting. Means I'm going to get 7 coins. That's great. All right. We're going to use, so we're going to claim E5. I think I should claim E5. Over 6. E5 over F6, that is. Prospectors could, hypothetically here, take the coins action. Oh, he did get, that's the way he got more leech, but yeah, he could take the coins action, advance ship, and build F6. which feels bad. So maybe I should take f6. I also really want e5. I guess him taking f6 isn't, like, it's good for him, but it's not really the end of the world for me. So I think I'm just going to go with e5. It also means I could then claim e7 before he could get to, or d7 before he could d7, which would really be the bad scenario. That e5 hex is just so strong in general. Is oh, you're talking about his username, Cafe. People don't really say that. I mean, like, people will say it to, like, as a literal meaning, but in English, but I don't know if it's the same connotation because I don't know what this. Is there a specific thing that it is in Portuguese? I don't actually know. Oh, well, he didn't take the coins action. He just passed for the coin tile, which does make some sense. So I guess I'll take dwelling scoring here. That's totally fine. Did Enlightened just go air 2? Oh man. Okay, we're going heavy production Enlightened. It's like the junior player. Okay, no, I've never heard that. That's definitely not an English thing. Okay, so I think I could take worker power here, but I think dwelling scoring is the right answer. I'll be able to build at least two dwellings. So the tricky thing is, like, the one thing with this Selkie ship action is I can't combine it with a power action. I think I can combine it with a hard dig, but I can't combine it with a power action, which means I guess it's fine. I guess I just build d7 and maybe hope for a little more leech. I don't know where I'm going to get more leech. But if I don't take more coins, I can't build more than 2 dwellings anyway, so. I just don't know 100% if building this dwelling that I've opened up is actually the right idea, or either of these, because if G2E, if this ends up being the town, G2 F4, well, I guess that's not so good anyways. I mean, the Prospectors may well now take F5 anyways. What's up, Tom? Maybe maybe I should have taken worker power. I think I just need to plan on. Ugh. There's just no, like, I need what it really is I need either F3 or H5. That's really what it is. So I'm gonna have to kind of bank on being able to do that. I guess I'm only a couple leech away from double dig. Yeah, I think Wisps definitely in a little bit of trouble. He did advance his shipping, so he might try to like jump to C2. All right, I'm just gonna go for now. Claim D7, keep pushing up this way, which I think is smart. And then we'll see what happens. Because if I can get double dig, I mean, I would think the Wisps are taking double dig if I'm being honest. So it's probably going to be like single dig for me on F6 or C7. Yeah, clusters would be very bad for Selkies. I have not played Arc Nova yet on BGA. Well, I actually haven't played it at all, including on BGA. But I've heard great things. That's cool that it's on BGA. I'll have to go check it out. I'm very curious as to what the Wisps are going to do here, because I could see him trying to go double dig. I could see him trying to go temp ship. Or no, he's on, sorry, advanced ship with another priest. Also the Prospectors. Could see him advancing his ship. And he's got 25 coins. Jesus. Take away 8, that's 17. So he could do 4 digs. And still build 4 dwellings. That seems pretty good. You know what I might do next round, or this round, is just build 1 dwelling in the river here, or up here. Probably up here. Actually, maybe down here. And then just pass for coins or the spade. And then just use double dig to claim if the Enlightened don't do it. See if I can claim H5 next round. Because H5 would actually be really nice for me. I guess F3 would be good too. I could probably... This is good for me. So the Wisp taking double dig and going for C2, like he's clearly not, he didn't make a push for F3. So I might be able to like spade this with the spade bonus action and then finish it off with the... Oh, but you still need a freaking ship to do that. Oh, it's so annoying. F3 is better, except that getting to it is hard because of the shipping. So I'm not going to have a priest, and I don't want to spend power to get one yet. So I think H5 would be better, but I also don't think the Enlightened are going to leave H5 there. I think it's going to go. Yeah, I mean, I could just hard dig it, which might be the answer here. We're gonna build this guy. The Prospectors did advance their ship, so he's probably gonna build on F6, which actually is kind of nice. I also really need more coins. Um, but yeah, maybe that is the right answer. Stronghold. So the problem is if I do Stronghold action plus 3 workers, I'm 1 worker short of then also being able to build a temple, which is what I would also really like to do next round. Hmm. Well, there's that. At least we get a little leech. Okay, so the question now is, do I take single dig or not? I kind of think the answer is no. I think I got much better uses for all this stuff. I think I just pass for this spade tile. Do I need to do a conversion first, though? I think I need to do a conversion. I think there's a decent chance he builds a TP next to me. And or that the Enlightened take this thing. Be right back. Okay, we're back. It looks like. Let's see, Enlightened advanced their ship and built I4. He did not build H5. I think it's the right question, Tom. But I think the answer. I think the answer is coins. I think it's coins and a temple, maybe for either Earth 1 or Water 1, and build a couple dwellings. And I have to float. I think I gotta float F3. I think that's, which I know is super dangerous, but I don't think I have a better choice. And I don't think the Wisps are gonna take it. I might also not have to if I can get coins and workers action. Oh, Prospectors upgrading there is very annoying. But I think, by the way, if I can get a town here, I think what I'm angling for overall play in this game is a town off the Stronghold plus a town like this. E5, this guy I've already got, G6, and then another guy here, and I5, plus a couple TPs, and then a D7 town going up this way with some of these hexes, and at least one in the river. And if I can do all of that, especially if the Prospectors come up this way and give me some neighbors that I can get next to here, or if the Enlightened come this way and I can get neighbors here, that's 3 towns, decent distance coverage. Shouldn't need shipping until the very end to connect E5 to F4. We can do all of that. I think we'll be in decent shape. But we'll see. These guys, this is a tricky faction. A really tricky faction. Their economy is just, it's tough. All right. Really need these coins since I don't produce any. I guess the other option is I could claim F3 now and then just build another dwelling. And not build a TP or a temple and build the temple next round. I guess I'd pick up 3 points by building the TP next round. Like, I don't have that heavy need for priests if I'm not trying to otherwise advance my shipping. I mean, ultimately, I'd love to send some priests to cults, but it's not super crucial. So maybe that's the answer. Yeah. I think locking F3 here actually is really nice, because the point of not having to build a sanctuary is actually a pretty good one. And then I can just build a bunch of TPs next round. Now, unfortunately, what I can't do is build F3 and I5 because I need the shipping power for both of them, but I can do F3 this round and C7, and then next round do I5. I do have to hope the Prospectors don't run down this way. Wish they could. But I think that's going to have to be the gamble. I guess that's a question. Am I better off gambling on I5 or better off gambling on F3? Like, the Wisps cannot make a town here without F3. So that feels pretty threatened. Not to mention that he could upgrade E3 at any point and throw a spade there, and then all of a sudden that thing is green, and I'm really not building on it. So I think that's what we're going to do. Just too important of a hex in the end. The other nice thing is I'm now setting my... If I can get I5, I'll be set up to have two towns that I can't be blocked in round 5 by just building River Dwelling, which is a really nice way to finish off some towns. Yeah, I could, but I don't have any coins. And I get 3 points for building the TP next round, so I think I just wait and build, ideally, TP, Temple Water 1, and another TP or 2 next round, and then maybe one dwelling on I5. And I think that's a pretty good positioning. And especially here, I mean, I'm going to take one more action, and then I'm going to pass. So I think there's a decent chance I pass first here. And I can pass on this 6 coins tile and get another coins action. I'll have 10 workers, which is enough for TP, Temple, 2 more TPs, and a dwelling. That's pretty great. If all that works out. Now, could see a Water 1 rush. I guess there's still an Earth 1 copy out there. Might actually want to Air 1 more at this point, but... So we're definitely floating some things, but it's not like the Enlightened or the Wisps have a ton of resources to throw around here. The Prospectors, I mean, I think he's... Well, I was going to say he's winning because he's got a lot of resources, but he doesn't have that many points, and also doesn't actually have that much on the board, so... Maybe not. Earth 1 and Water 1, though. I mean, I guess my economy is actually in a pretty good spot right now. Especially if I get to pass here onto this 7 coins. It's actually pretty good. Ooh. This is a little bit of a ballsy sanctuary from the Enlightened here. Because the Prospectors could totally just take C4 as a path to B5. And then the Enlightened are reliant on getting a double dig and a bridge. That seems a little risky. And he needs another bridge down here. Hey, Leech. Nice. He's bad coin production? I don't think he's that bad. All right, so now we wait a little bit. But I don't think Prospectors are going to take I5 right now. I feel like he's got more pressing town space to secure than trying to go find a new town space. So I think I'm going to be okay on that one. My bigger concern, actually, at this point, is water 1. Wow, a 3rd temple from the Prospectors. Yeah, I will take the leech. This is an interesting temple because he's exchanging 4 coins production for 4 coin production. So the resource investment isn't getting him anything ROI besides the favor tile. And so what does he take? Fire 1. Okay, so he gets some coin production back, but it's kind of like, why? Like, you can get that just by building another TP? Interesting. Well, anyways, if I can get water 1 and I5, I will be in a great spot. I am definitely worried about water 1 with the Wisps here. But we will have to wait and see what they do. I'm 100% taking these coins. I can't do what I want to do without them, and also don't want to give them to anyone else. And then we're going to go from there. Now, one thing that would also be wonderful this round is if I could snag a priest. Well, actually, I was going to say if I could snag a priest and send it to water, but I actually don't have anywhere to put a spade that I really care about, so maybe it doesn't matter so much. Yeah, it really doesn't. So, never mind. Come on, Wisps. Do anything besides water 1. Yeah, I mean, F2 is fine, but, well, at this point, now I think the Enlightened are probably going to send a priest to water, and my optionality is going to be gone anyways. But locking down the 2-key town around early. But I don't need F2. I can just build a TP on F2 or F3 and then build that river dwelling. And that's the end. Another ship for the Prospectors. Where are you going? Oh, maybe down to F2. I guess that's fine. Okay, so now here's the next. No. Next question was going to be like, so part of me wants to build this TP first. But maybe I should just lock I5. Maybe it's not. If the Wisps were really worried about Water 1, well. So here's the thing, right? If I push for Water 1, might slightly increase my chance of getting it first. But the Wisps already have a TP up, so if he's going to block me, like, it doesn't matter either way, so I should just lock I5. I guess the other thing is if he does take Water 1, then I could take Earth 1 instead and get 2 points for the Dwelling, but, like, I don't think that's worth the float risk on I5 here. I still don't think the Prospectors are doing it because he advanced his ship, but I think this Hex is too important for me because otherwise I have all kinds of problems. I either have to connect these that I don't want to do, or like this is just so much better. It's been the theme of the day is securing the key hexes before scoring. Oh, he's gonna do it anyways. God damn it. That's pretty painful. Because that's 15 points that I'm not getting now. I guess Air 1 is still going to be worth 10. So that's going to be the answer. And then maybe next round I can try to snag Earth 1 before I build any of the dwellings to finish the towns. I think that's going to be the play. Because the Enlightened don't have Earth 1. I mean, he might take it. His infrastructure is pretty low. So we'll see. Like I've got this nice position and everyone's caught up to me on points. My points lead that I started with from being the 40 faction has evaporated. Okay. You know the one thing that's weird about the Selkies is they're an ice faction, obviously. And one of the natural inherent advantages of ice factions is their digging is a little bit cheaper to offset the fact that they need so many more spades. But because the Selkies have the spade built in on their stronghold, it actually decreases their incentive to upgrade their digging. And if you open stronghold, you're not producing priests. So unlike the Ice Maidens, who obviously want early temples, and the Yetis, who do sometimes open stronghold, but then can take infinite number of priests at a very cheap cost, these guys have this weird, like, it's an anti-synergy. I don't like anti-synergies. Because they just feel awkward. Where do I put this temple? I guess down here. I was going to just give it to the Wisps. But now that the Prospectors came down here, I don't really want to give him free leech. So I feel like just giving to the Enlightened is better. I am a little worried that eventually, like, I'm gonna need some neighbors up here, I think. I guess I could hypothetically build like 1, 2. If I can build B8, then 3, 4 in the river, 5, maybe even 6 dwellings for. That would be 7. This would be 6. Enlightened, you better dig C4. Yeah. So the prospectors are. He's getting hemmed in here a little bit. He's now got 2 spots where he would have to do a triple dig if he wants to build a town off of it. Which is so funny because they're the faction who has the ability in general here to be the most aggressive. But he's not really taking advantage of it. He's decided to build all these temples. I mean, Enlightened are actually still in a pretty good spot here. His production is maybe like a tiny bit below where you'd expect, but he's got a decent chance to win 3 cults. Yeah, here we go. Triple dig from the Prospectors. So that means he's not going to build F5, which is interesting, because after all that consternation on my end. Because this, he's going to, well, I'm assuming the Enlightened are going to take B4, and when they do, then this has to be a Sanctuary Town, which means no Sanctuary Town in the middle for the Prospectors. Which is good. I mean, if we can ultimately limit him to 2 towns, that will depress his point ceiling. I guess I don't have to build the temple first now. So let's just build more TPs. The Enlightened taking Water 1 there instead of Earth 1 is very annoying, I have to say. Bridge from the Wisps, so he'll probably build an expensive TP on H2 to flip I1, and then finish that next round. Okay. Enlightened do, in fact, take B4. Actually, Enlightened, if Enlightened grab H7, which I'm not going to take, they could make a pretty good network or distance push here if they can also grab B3. I have to wonder if the Wisps would have been almost better. Well, he already used his spade. I was going to say he would have been better off bridging and taking B3 and trying to form this into a town, but since he used the spade on C3, he'd have to actually procure a real spade for B3, which is not as nice. Who passed? Oh, the Prospectors passed. Okay. Well, I guess now that he passed. Ooh, pardon me. I was sick like 2 weeks ago, and I feel 100% fine, except I still have this freaking cough. So that TP. You know, I may go ahead and build another TP this round. I have to take the workers action, but that doesn't sound so bad to produce a little bit of extra coins, and then if I build a second temple next round, I'll still pass for 3 points on Air 1, which is kind of nice. I'm really hoping to pass onto this dwelling tile, by the way. Because I'm going to build 1, 2, 3, maybe another one over here. So actually, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I might build an expensive TP over here and see if I can gamble my way into 3 towns next round. That would be amazing. Yeah, an expensive one. I mean, I really thought that the Enlightened would come up over here. I also had kind of, admittedly, I kind of thought the Wisps might start here, but that would have been a very different game. Oh, well, maybe I'm not building another TP now because the Wisps are passing. So we'll see. If the Enlightened pass right onto that tile, then, you know, nothing I can do about that. But if they don't, they, for example, use this cult step, then I will probably just pass onto the dwelling tile. That incremental point is not worth giving up the dwelling tile. Because ultimately I can build the TP in round 6 and I'll score it the same. Like, so those 3 points is a wash. It's just the pass point in the middle. And actually, I guess it's probably better to have a little more workers next round anyways. You know what's funny is I think this might be the second game that I've played with Selkies. I've only played a couple games with them, and I think this might be the second one where I got stuck with Air 1 as my first scoring favor. I wonder if that's going to be a frequent thing with them, given the Stronghold opening. Because it's like Stronghold, and then you use the Stronghold to build a bunch of dwellings, and especially if the track is aligned with that, you're going to get other factions doing that too. And then there's going to be like a Water 1 rush that you'll sometimes miss. So this feels like it could actually be a semi-frequent problem for them. Okay. I'm going to take this dwelling tile. I don't even 100% know that the Enlightened would take it, but there's enough of a chance that it's not worth leaving it open. So dwelling tile plus first action, I will build Earth 1. Nice late round 5 Earth 1, which is still going to be worth, like, depending on how many structures I can get out, you know, 10 points, maybe 12 points. So that's not terrible. And then I probably want to, well, you know what? I can take a worker town. Maybe even 2 worker towns. Let's see, how many workers do I need? I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for the temple. I guess that's all I can build anyways. So I guess Oh, but if I took a worker town and a worker's action, or two worker towns, then I could build TP dwelling, which is like 2 points instead of 3. It's only a 1 point loss plus the economy. It might be worth it. Yeah, here we go, Enlightened to H7. This has got to be a coins action from the Prospectors, I'd have to imagine. The other trick I'm thinking up my sleeve here is in round 6, after I advance my ship, I may have an opportunity to throw a dwelling on G1 for distance. I go G1 to B8. That's only 2 off the maximum. That's really competitive. Probably would win it. Okay, let's grab Earth 1. The question is where to upgrade. Do I give 3 leech to the Prospectors? You know, the Prospectors were my big concern this whole game, but I'm actually not sure they are anymore. I actually think the Enlightened are the top concern now. So I think I'm okay with this. So interestingly, I'm still trying to figure out if I can get a third town this round. I think the answer is no. I think I'm a little bit short. Because dwelling, I'd have to build 4. No, I'd have to build 5 dwellings, which I cannot do. Yeah, because that would require 2 TPs. That's way too much resources. So the last town will come next round. That's fine. It might actually be better because I can take higher value towns. I'm still going to need to take 1 worker town, I think. No, actually I'm not. I can just build 3 dwellings. I mean, I guess I could still do... I think I should take priest towns. Or maybe a priest town and a cult town or something like that. There's actually some cult points to be had down here. And actually, unlike last round when I was saying I didn't have anything to do with the round 4 water spade reward, I will have something to do with this round 5 earth spade reward if I could get to 4, which a cult town and a priest to earth would do. Well, never mind. They are gone. So priest towns it will be. think I'll have just enough structures, by the way, to do all of this. This is going to be 6 dwellings, or 5 dwellings and a TP. Hopefully I get a neighborhood. It might have to be 1 expensive TP. That'll finish this town. So that's 5 dwellings. Oh no, I'm not going to have enough. 1, 2, 3. That would be... I'm going to run out of dwellings. I'm going to have to build 2 TPs out there, which means they might both have to be expensive, which means I might need to think about taking a coin town, which is annoying. Although I think I actually have a decent chance of passing on to... I do have a decent chance of passing on to a coin tile here, because everyone's going to want the scoring tiles. But ship scoring, I don't know how valuable that is for me. Although I also need shipping. So actually, maybe a ship town. Or just a coin town. I do also have all these power right now that I'm not really using for anything else, so they will be coins. Let's take 1 priest town, because we know they're good. Or maybe... that would actually make it interesting to think that the extra econ this round might be worth it to build the TP. It's 2-point loss to pick up 2 coins and a power. That's the trade. Well, plus whatever happens in the towns, but I think I need the econ towns anyways. I actually don't need ship towns. I mean, unless I want to send priests to cults. But it's just for points at this point. I'm going to need 2 shipping ultimately to connect. That's one thing to consider. I could secure G1 this round. I think I need a coin town. I hate to say it, but I think I need a coin town. It feels like I need a coin town. Can I put this town in the river? Ooh, I can. That's fun. I hate taking that coin town there, but I think I need it. Because I think I'm going to have to... It looks like I'm going to get stuck building 2 expensive TPs up here. Because the Enlightened are pushing this way, which means he's not coming up here, at least not soon. I mean, maybe he advances his ship. Oh, you know what? He might build on A9. That could be a potential TP spot. Interesting. Let's see if he advances his ship again. All right, hopefully he'll do it while I'm gone. What did the Enlightened do? Where is he? What did he do? Does conversions? Oh, stronghold action. Lame. Okay. We're gonna do this. And we're gonna take Worker Town. I did realize that 2 worker towns might have been better. But we'll see. I mean, I guess since I'm going to have to build 2 expensive TPs anyways, I might as well build 1. I just don't think the Prospectors are going to take G1. I think it's really unlikely. It doesn't help him with his distance. Unless he really makes a push here. Like, I have to think he's going on this diagonal. He went up to 3 shipping, so maybe he's going to swing down here. Or no, he's going to go to C1. That's what he's doing. Yeah, he's going to go to I8 and C1, and he's probably going to go I8, B1. So he's going to win distance. Or max, at least. Which I will not be able to do. All right. We're going to use this guy on B8. Four towns? I wish. I don't have enough structures. I might have had the economy, but I don't have enough structures. At one point, I was thinking about 4 towns, the 4th town being down here and splitting this one up, but that wasn't going to happen either. Now, I guess I am sitting after the Wisps here, and with that coin town, I can probably afford to delay until I can get that ship scoring tile. Which seems pretty worth it. So I think I'm going to do that. I mean, he might pass right now. No, he'll probably build a dwelling. Yeah. So I'll just advance my ship once. In the end, I probably should have taken a priest down instead of the worker. The worker town was actually the one I didn't need. Could have taken a priest down. Oh well. Now the question is, you put it all together, is this enough to win? And I don't know. I have no cult points. I am about to pass for 8, and I will have a pass tile next round also. I think I will get second on distance. The Enlightened can get to H9, and then I guess he could tie me if he got to A3. So I might tie second on distance. But I also am doing really well on network. I think I'm going to win network. And I think if all of that happens, I have a good chance. Now here's the question. Do I need this? Ideally next round, I am building 3 TPs and 3 dwellings. 2 of those TPs are expensive TPs. So that's a lot of coins. 12, 15, and another 6 is 21 coins plus probably a couple shipping. That seems like it's going to be. I guess maybe I am going to use this worker town after all, because this is 12 workers I'm looking at here. Oh, no, 11 workers, which is exactly what I'm going to have. So great. Okay. Definitely hoping the Wisps pass right now. Otherwise, I have to do something. I don't want to do something. I want to pass. Good. Oh, if only I had water 1. That would have made this pretty clean. But I'm going to end up scoring 9 points from air 1 as opposed to what would have been 15, I think, with water 1. I guess that's only 6. Six points isn't a huge difference. But I guess 102 going in around 6 doesn't feel terrible. Especially given I've still got a good number of points coming. It's been like a very slow burn with the Selkies. It's kind of felt like I haven't had much going for me. But I guess I did get a lot of dwellings out. Like I got with Stronghold 3 dwellings after round 1, and then another couple or either 2 or 3 in round 2. It's judicious with the water dwellings. I think that's one thing with the Selkies that is definitely going to make it into the guide if it ever happens, is I think you have to be very judicious with the placement of the river dwellings, because number 1, you're spending an extra worker to place it, which means I guess it's not any different from any other ice dwelling because you always have to have a spade, but the ROI on that is just not nearly as nice on building like, you know, a free hex of a different color. But then also because you can't upgrade them, you have to kind of just be careful that you have the right spots to upgrade and do stuff later. So like I'm gonna get stuck building, unless I get lucky, it's gonna be 2 expensive TPs this round. Unless the Enlightened come over and save me on A9, and then maybe I'll get away with 1. Oh, maybe I'll get away with 1. Haha, look at that. That's awesome, actually. It's really helpful. Just saved me 3 coins. Thank you, sir. Still, gonna have to build, going back to the original point, gonna still have to build at least 1 expensive TP this round. And that's unfortunate. I think the Enlightened just ran into the issue they didn't get enough points. Like I think he had the opportunity to take Earth 1, and he didn't. Like you kind of look at his setup and you're like, damn, he's won 3 cults, he's already founded 2 towns, but he's only got 78 points. Like I think he's just going to fall a little short point wise. I mean, this map is tough for green. The Enlightened are like, they're so hit or miss. It's really wild. Like you either see them blow it out, and it's really hard to tell sometimes. Like I've had a hard time gauging in games. Like I think there's another. I think it was an Architects game that I posted, or one of the other games that I posted on YouTube. I thought the whole game the Enlightened were winning, and then he finished dead last. Because they do really run out of steam. Just like the arc of their faction development is so different than any other faction's arc in Terra Mystica. Like they have this huge burst at the beginning, and then it just slows down. It's just very hard to gauge them when you're playing against them. I mean, he's still got a ton of resources going in the last round here. Could definitely compete on network. So maybe I don't. But he's also 26 points behind. Well, although he's got that on the Colts, so he and I are like kind of equal. So maybe I'm misjudging it again. I don't know. Love to play him. Have a hard time figuring him out. All right. Quiz action, no surprise there. I guess I have to build a TP first, don't I? So we will do that. There are still 2 priest towns left, so that's nice. So we'll see what the resources, how they play out. Well, I guess I can figure it out actually. This is going to be 6 and 3 is 9, and 6 is 15, and then 8 is 23 coins. I would need if I want to pay for both ship advances in full. And I've currently got 19, probably going to be 20, so I'm 3 coins short. Thanks, expensive TP. So I either need a little bit of leech, or I gotta take a ship town, or because like, unfortunately, priest to cult is not helping me that much, and we already established I need all the workers. So I might have to take a lower value town, which is annoying. Ship town plus like a priest to air is probably the answer, although all these folks have lots of priests, and they all have all the shipping they need, so it's going to be a very, very poor cult game on my part. All right, I do at least get to grab G1 and secure a pretty damn good distance, so that is nice. We're gonna see. I really feel like don't have a great gauge on where this is gonna net out. Prospectors never built on C1, which is interesting. Like I have to assume they will. I guess no one's gonna block them. I mean, the Wisp could. Seems unlikely, though. So it looks like the Prospectors here are going to end with just one town. It's definitely rough for them. No cult points is going to be rough for me. Oof. No cult points is just... God, that is not how I typically play Terra Mystica. I feel like I over-index on cults relative to most folks. But when you don't build your first temple until round 4, that is what will happen. I wonder how the Selkies would be if you just tried to open with a temple, maybe if Tempship was in the game, and you just didn't use the Stronghold. I do still have one code point that right now. That is right. And then you advance your digs like a normal ice faction. Like, I wonder how they would play without the Stronghold. I feel like the problem is that in this game I had to have it because of the temp ship, and there was no temp shipping here. But I feel like if you got, if you were able to like get, for example, the spade bonus tile in round 1 or double dig in round 1, you build a temple, and then you get temp ship in like round 2 or 3 for like maybe another double dig, or maybe open double temple. I feel like there has to be a line there that has playability. Okay, I officially have to build this expensive TP now. Sad. I guess I could have built a regular TP first, since I'm going to have to build one of those too, but... ultimately, it was going to have to happen. $28 cult points for the Enlightened. So that's what I'm gonna have to clear him by. But I do think I'm gonna do that. He doesn't look like he's getting another town. Well, maybe here. You have to get a bridge. Can probably do it. 28 cult points. But I have a pass tile. He doesn't. Another town coming. We'll see. He does still have a couple more 6-point DPs, which is good for him. I guess the other thing to think about with the Selkies too, though, is that advancing their dig isn't quite as good for them as it is, or important for them as other factions. Like, they need fewer spades than other ice factions because they build these dwellings in the river. Every one of those is a spade that you don't, at least one spade that you don't need. So I don't know. We'll have to try it. We'll have to try the no Stronghold Selkies line and see how viable it feels. I feel like actually the very first game that I did with them, I didn't open with a Stronghold, but it didn't go well. But I don't think that was like, I think it was the first time you play a faction, it's usually not going to go well. There were just things I wasn't... I think I over-invested in the river dwellings too early. You couldn't build near green? Oh, I could. My other dwelling's going to go here, but I can't upgrade it either way, so... No reason to give him the leech before I need to, right? Feels like they shouldn't have been an ice faction. A lot of people have said it would feel better if Selkies were blue and Wisps were an ice faction. But I think the issue is if Selkies were blue, they would feel a lot like mermaids. Wisps 100% should have been an ice faction. If Wisps were an ice faction, it solves the biggest problem with Wisps, which is the requirement that you have to leave the hexes hanging. So I do think the Enlightened are going for a town down here. And I don't know if he has enough resources to do the town and then also claim A3. Because if he gets A3, he and I tie on distance. I was also just thinking that if I built another expensive TP up here, that would finish the town, and then I could do this instead. That's only 3 points better against everyone other than the Enlightened. And this is worth 2 points and doesn't require a spade. So that seems like the inferior option. But yeah, I don't. I mean, I think the ice faction for the Selkies, it's very thematically appropriate because the idea is that like they can build these dwellings on the river because they like sit on the ice, kind of out in the river next to their ice homes. At least that's what some of the people who designed them said, or were involved in playtesting or something. So I kind of get that, but from a gameplay perspective, I think water, which also would have been thematic, might have been better. I would love to flip these guys with the wisps, but alas. Wisps actually came up with a respectable performance here after getting hemmed in, and I mean I also just think they're quite weak. But I guess their end game scoring is pretty bad. But he's got 112 banked. That's not. I guess it's not that good. And Prospectors really just. I think that round where he built those the like two temples, just I think he just his economy is in a nice spot and he didn't do it. And also, prospectors have the ability to be so aggressive, and he wasn't particularly aggressive here on lakes when he could have been. Oh, why are you giving tons of extra free leash to the Enlightened, who might actually want it and be able to use it? That's annoying. Ooh, now do I want a bunch of leech? That's interesting. So where am I at in my coin count here? I need 10. I've got 7. If I got to that, it would be 9. Uh, I could take a priest town instead of like a power town. It's worth the 3 points that I'm giving up here, plus the priest might give me points, but then I'm like 1 power short. trying to see if I'm going to get it anywhere. I don't think so. So I think I'm better off just taking the Power Town and eating. If I was a little bit higher on the Colts, and I could get 2 power back like you normally do, it would work, but it does not. So it's going to be a Power Town and 2 ship advances, and that's going to be it. And I'm going to get either 0 or 1 Colt points. But that's fine. I do have a 13-point pass, including the shipping and Air 1, and I've got another 7 points from the ship advances themselves, plus this 4-point dwelling, and 6 from a Power Town. All in all, not bad. If we get 1 power, yeah, then the Priest Town would work if I had taken that leech, obviously. But I don't see where I'm getting a power. The only place I even see the possibility is if the Prospectors build a TP on G5, but he has no reason to give that to me. He has lots of other spots to do it. There. Actually, not lots. He has there. Oh, and C3. He has 2 other spots to do it. Yeah. Short on the dollars. I think it's going to be enough. It feels like it's going to be enough. I guess the Enlightened still have a good amount to do. Is he going to tie me on network? It looks like he will tie me on network. Tie me on network. He'll beat me by 27 or 28 on the Colts. And he'll tie me on distance if he builds A3. But, so I just have to be that 27 or 28 points ahead of him after the passing. But he has no passing points. And I have 13. And I have a 43-point lead. So that is going to be enough. I think. Unless I'm doing some wonky math. Because he doesn't have Earth 1 either, so he's not even getting points for these dwellings. And actually, he might not have enough to do all those spades to actually also build on A3. You're here for wonky math, Fickles? I think I got it cleared. Econ for the win, guys. This was heavy econ game. Air 1 for a scoring favor in round 4. It was a weird game. I said this earlier, but it felt like I was kind of in a rough position, but I think securing key hexes on lakes, like this map is actually really nice for Selkies in a lot of ways. Because of the ability, like this map is typically so cutthroat. Let's just advance the ship here. This map is typically so cutthroat But these guys, the ability to use the rivers to found their town space means that the space isn't so important for them. I really only had one hex F3 that was a pressure concern this whole game. I guess I5 kind of. So I was like able to found 3 towns really nicely, and this Stronghold ability works really well on lakes where there's all these one spot jumps. So I didn't even have to, like, the fact that I didn't build a temple in round 4 meant I didn't advance my ship until round 5, I think, and that was fine. I was able to carve out plenty of space, 3 towns, all that, without ever advancing my ship, and temp ship wasn't even in the game. Do I like Selkies? Do I find them fun? I mean, this game I found much more fun than the previous couple times that I've played them. Overall, I don't think I probably wouldn't be putting them yet in the upper tiers of fun factions for me. But there's also a lot of factions out there, and most of the times when I'm playing an ice faction, I'm just like, I wish I were playing ice mains. But that's a bit of an irrational. But no, this was cool. Coming to appreciate them a little bit more. I do still think the weird balance of them being an ice faction with the inherent digging, but then not needing as much digging, and the Stronghold providing digging, it's this weird mismatch that feels just a little bit not cohesive, but maybe it's okay. I mean, I'm going to end up with 149 after passing here in what didn't... I guess it was actually a higher scoring track than I realized with, like, TPs, Hounds, TPs in the last 3 rounds, but... No big building tile. They would be much better off with the big building tile. That would encourage Stronghold openings. I think one of the reasons I haven't found them a little bit as fun the couple times I've played them is they seem to not do a lot on the cults. And I find the cults very fun in general. One of the reasons I love the Enlightened is they are very good on the cults. Except not the cultists, because that's like cheating on the cults. Other cult factions are good. It's kind of very basics in a lot of ways. It was just like, get a lot of resources, secure key hexes, take more resources on your towns. Look at this. I took a coin town, a power town, and a worker town. Straightforward. And that's it. Just build stuff. No, Rafa, no cultists. No cheating. Thanks, Tom. Good to see you. Yeah, this is... After all this is actually going to end up being a pretty high-scoring game for me. So a good example of the Selkies, I guess. I mean, I'm not sure that most of the things that I sort of outlined of like where the towns were going to be and what the key hexes were, and I was able to, in the end, I was sort of able to do all of that, and so maybe I shouldn't be so surprised that it's turning out pretty well. It just felt like getting there was a little bit inefficient at times, but maybe not so much. Yeah, good to see you, Fickles. No problem. And hopefully, I know I've been on delay on the strategy videos. It's because I've had this cough, and no one wants to listen to a strategy video that has me coughing all the way through it. So on stream, it's a little easier because I can just mute for a second. But as soon as I kick this thing, I've got another one teed up. Rafa, where you been, man, by the way? I feel like I haven't seen you playing as much. right, guys, come on. Let's finish this out. Yeah, you got to jump back in. Eventually. Breaks are good sometimes. Sometimes you need them. That is definitely true. Oh, I forgot. Who won the golf tournament? Stupid Brooks Koepka. I don't know if anyone's a golf fan. I don't like Brooks Koepka, and he won. It's annoying. But instead, we have a very fun Eastern Conference Finals game starting in half an hour. So that'll be great. So Enlightened are going to get second here, which is, you know, it's funny. Like, I feel like they're they are very swingy. I think that's pretty established. But the lows maybe aren't as bad as the swinginess would imply. Like, I think there's a lot of games where they start not as well, and then they do, you know, it feels like the low end of the swing, and then he's still going to end up second. He still built 15 structures. Still won 3 Colts and got second on another. Didn't find quite as many points along the way, but I do think the Enlightened are a little bit too strong, and I'm hoping the data bears it out that they get a slight nerf. Yes. No Colt points. Winning with no Colt points, that's kind of fun. It's like winning with no network. It's like the opposite of that. So we get, what, 15 and 12? So 27 end game. So 176. That's pretty good. Started with 40, obviously, and it's with extra scoring, but still feels like a pretty healthy score. Thanks, Rafa. Yeah, ended up not being as close as for a while. It was looking like, um, but a cool one. I'm glad I got another game to explore this faction. Haven't played a Lynx game for a while, so just like these guys might end up. I could see a world where these guys kind of become like Riverwalkers, who are a pretty like average, maybe even below average faction. But this map just is so perfect for all the stuff that they do that it accentuates their abilities, and so I think Selkies may end up being like that with lakes, but we'll see. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll throw this one over on the YouTube in a little bit, and stay tuned for more. We'll see y'all soon.